Okay, today is November 25th, 2017. Right now at 8 p.m., we have a temperature of 64 degrees in the foothills of Los Angeles. The relative humidity is 45%, which is low considering what we're looking at right here on this map, this infrared map. See that Pineapple Express float moving in from the southwest. Okay, so we've got a dew point of 42 degrees, and the barometer is up at 30.10 inches. Okay, so with this flow pattern and the yellow, the depth of the water vapor indicated here, the green and the yellow, we should expect to see some rain, but looking at the Doppler map, we see nothing down here in central or southern California or Arizona or Nevada, and much of the southwest is just dry. There's a few little tiny spots, but nothing really that would explain. This should be bringing rain to central and southern California. And so the question is, well, what's happening here? Why aren't we getting rain? And the answer is the jets that are spraying the chemical desiccants over the tops of the incoming moisture. Let's look at the Modus Today map. This is today's map for the Southern California area. Offshore, we can see this is the natural moisture-laden clouds right here, this brilliant white. Now, it does have a mixture of gray haze over it. We can see the gray chemtrail, chemical haze, all this gray stuff, these lines, all this stuff here, this gray off-white stuff is sprayed over the natural water vapor-laden clouds, which is the brilliant white area here. These are natural clouds. This stuff here is chemical desiccant. All this stuff all the way through here. And so what's happening is that these terrorists that are running this operation are preventing the rain. We can see up here there's a fresh trail out here on the far, I can't see it in the frame, but tail end of that is right there. There's a fresh trail there. And we can see that there's some trails right there. Jets have been spraying all through this area. And so the result is that the aerosols cap the atmosphere and we have no lift. And of course, we have to have two things for rain, for precipitation. We have to have lift in the atmosphere and we have to have moisture in the atmosphere. And, you know, the moisture's out here. You can see that. And it's all being sprayed over. So getting back to the maps, let's look at the big map now, the big water vapor map for the Northeast Pacific. We have a hurricane force storm up here with a rectangle on it. Take a closer look at that. Here is a transmitter, probably microwave or laser possibly, focusing right in this area. That's where that dark area is, and that is preventing all this moisture from wrapping back around into that vortex. And we can see the effect that that high pressure adjacent to this low, this is a transmitter generated high pressure area that is peeling away all that moisture so it cannot wrap back around into that low pressure. And the transmitter leaves sometimes we see a square or rectangle imprint, and that's what we see right here. This is a flat spot. We can see that a little bit better here in the infrared map. See sort of a square rectangle sort of forming right there. That is a 950 millibar. If you look at the surface analysis map, we can see that right here. 958 millibar hurricane force storm, which is indicated to be moving to the northeast. And we see a warm front right here. That's that transmitter, which is causing the rectangle. This red area here is a warm front. We have a cold front here. And then we have three lows out here next to the west coast. Now, we had a rain forecast for Monday, and that, I think, is going to be a bust. I don't think we're going to have any rain on Monday, and I'll show you why. Let's go back to the big map. There's a few things going on down off of Mexico, which have changed the outlook on some of the weather reporting agencies. We have a area right here trying to spin counterclockwise, and there's also an unnamed disturbance right down here, which was trying to spin counterclockwise. There's actually some rotation right where the tip of the pen is, right there. And also we see an area that has been quickly filled out with high pressure. This is an installed area of high pressure right here, which will maintain a blockade right here and prevent this system from moving in and getting pulled into this flow pattern right into California. So the weather controllers have installed high pressure right in this area, and that will block this. And also this is being worked on, this area right here. This is a low pressure system right there, which is trying to spin, but there is a transmitter parked right on top of that. We can see the outline. Also, we have a transmitter right here working on a developing system, which is plowing through the northwest. If we look at the Doppler once again, we can see that the rain is pretty heavy up here in Washington State and Vancouver, and also in Northern California. There's a little bit of rain. Most of that is offshore. Okay, so getting back to the water vapor map again, we see that this flow pattern has been fairly similar for about the last 9 or 10 days. And that's why we've had so much chemtrail spraying, because that prevents the rain. The aerosols cap the atmosphere. Right here we have a low pressure system which is being squashed right in this area. Let's go ahead and look at the IR map once again. We can see this area of high pressure is creating a boundary that's flowing out. That's the descending air. We can see that pattern right here. This expanding ring right here, that's the descending air as this is squashed. Also up here, this entire area, there's another low right up here which is being squashed. Go back and take a look. Right up here, there's some counterclockwise rotation. This entire area is being squashed, and when we look at the pressure maps, we'll see what's happening. All right, so let's look at the western water vapor loop. We can see the flow pattern right here. This band of moisture right here is moving into Southern California. That should be dumping rain. And look what's happening right here. There is some strange activity right in this area. That's where that transmitter is working to prevent. This area here is trying to spin counterclockwise. Right there. And this area here is dropping down. That's all being squashed by high pressure. Let's go ahead and look at the the infrared map. We can see that right here. And of course, here's the Southwest map. And I went outside and right before I did this video, and we can see that the chemtrails are being sprayed as this band of moisture moves through. So the moon looks like it's being obscured by fog, but it's actually chemtrail haze. So all the websites out there that are talking about solar radiation management, they're associating that with the chemtrail spraying. That's wrong. And the fact that these aerosols are sprayed at night, that disproves the solar radiation management argument, because the chemtrails have nothing to do with managing solar radiation. They have everything to do with preventing precipitation. All right, here's that East Pacific water vapor map, and we see that area of high pressure being installed. Separate, blockade this area right here. This has been hit with microwave as well. We can see a blast pattern, and we can see the color change as this area was targeted. That disrupts the superheating process disrupts the convection in this developing system. That's been targeted, and we see that the rotation here has been stopped. There's actually two lows. These two weather systems may affect our weather here. We're supposed to have rain that would presumably come from this area of low pressure, which is showing. Let's take a look at the maps here. This is the surface map. We have a low right here. We have a lot of squiggly lines, especially up here. So this is a surface low. This should be moving in and dumping some rain on Monday, but we'll see what happens. Here we have a closed low at the 500 millibar level. You see some squiggly lines as the transmitters are maintaining higher pressure over the west coast. We have the 300 millibar map. Notice this up here, this low, which has all these squiggly lines. There's a transmitter right on this area working on that. Okay. We've got basically a surface to upper level low pressure system right here, which should be moving in and dumping plenty of rain. And so there was a forecast for, as I say, on Monday, but weather.com has changed the outlook. It's no longer rain on Monday for Southern California. They're fairly accurate. Here we have this low, 500 millibar level. The 300, it shows plenty of manipulation occurring with all those squiggly lines. So this area is being targeted to beat that down, disrupt that low pressure. Okay, here's the jet stream map. We can see the flow pattern around that low and into most of the west coast and California. Here we have the SSCC water vapor map. And let's take a look at this. We can see some of the chemtrail spraying. Right here is this flow pattern. This moisture field moves into California. We can see all the chemtrail spraying going on all through this moisture field. And we can see that low right there trying to develop, but this is all being squashed out by high pressure. We can see very little rotation in this area towards the end of the map. This is a 24-hour loop. There's no rotation. There's this little right angle on this system as it, look at that right angle on there. Look at that right there. So they are obviously at work. These terrorists are at work disrupting the weather patterns all around the world, mainly on over the Pacific Ocean. It's most likely that polar orbiting satellites are doing this work. There's a whole network of them. As they pass to the north, what they can't finish on the way up over the pole, the next satellite is rotating right behind it. They've got these they've got a few of them over here on the west coast. They got more of them out over here. And these things just orbit in a polar orbit from south to north, or possibly from north to south. I don't know how exactly they're flying these things, but they're orbiting, and of course there's only a couple of ways this manipulation can be done. This level of manipulation, we're talking, thousands of square miles right here, and tens of thousands of square miles of high pressure in this area. So they're using some very unique and specialized equipment, lasers and microwave to superheat these systems into part high pressure. All right. Okay, well, that's the report. We've seen pretty much everything. We'll just leave it right here and hope we get some rain, but it's very iffy as usual. Okay, that's it.